So my name is Laura Höjer. I'm from the Baltic Sea Action Group. So welcome to this session. In this session, we will discuss how the soil carbon sequestration to agricultural soil really is a worldwide task. It's actually a very hot topic globally at the moment. It is the role of soiling in mitigating climate change that has in recent years given rise to a very large number of different initiatives and networks, both in EU and globally. And we will today in this session present some of them to you, and then we can discuss how we can build a cooperation and synergies, how we can promote this international collaboration together. And there will be time for discussion at the end of the session, so please post questions in the chat. So we will start the session by a short introductory video. This video actually was made by Finn Soil Projects. Elisa will tell you about this project later on today. But please, if we can have the first video.
Terve maaperä on kaiken elämän edellytys maapallolla. Eläimet, kasvit, puhdas vesi, ruoantuotanto, kaikkien hyvinvointi riippuu hyvinvoivasta maaperästä. Maaperän hyvinvointi ei ole itsestäänselvyys. Sen puolesta meidän on tehtävä töitä ja tätä työtä tehdään myös maa- ja metsätalousministeriössä. Yhtenä työkaluna on hiilestä kiinni ilmastotoimenpidekokonaisuus. Maaperän hyvinvointia edistetään tukemalla maaperätutkimusta, osaamista ja käytännön tekoja sekä kehittämällä lainsäädäntöä. Maatalousmaan monimuotoisuudesta huolehditaan vahvistamalla luonnon omia toimintoja sekä edistämällä uudistavia ja maaperän eliöstön monimuotoisuutta ylläpitäviä viljelymenetelmiä. Maaperän hiilensidontaa ja varastointia tuetaan räätälöimällä kullekin peltolohkolle sopivat viljelymenetelmät. Laadukas maaperätieto auttaa meitä toimimaan kestävästi ja kohdentamaan ilmastotoimia myös tehokkaasti. Suomi edistää maaperän hyvinvointia aktiivisesti myös kansainvälisessä yhteistyössä. EUn maaperämission tavoitteena on, että 3/4 EU-maaperästä olisi hyvässä kunnossa vuoteen 2030 mennessä. Eurooppalaisessa EIP Soil-ohjelmassa Suomi on yhdessä 24 muun maan kanssa edistämässä eri tieteenaloja yhdistävää osaamista ja tutkimusta ja ilmastokestävää maatalousmaan käyttöä. Maaperän merkitys ilmastonmuutoksen hillinnässä on viime vuosina synnyttänyt runsaan määrän erilaisia aloitteita ja verkostoja EU-tasolla ja globaalistikin. Pariisin ilmastokokouksessa vuonna 2015 Suomi sitoutui ensimmäisten maiden joukossa edistämään kansainvälistä 4/1000 aloitetta maatalousmaiden hiilensidonnan edistämiseksi. Vuonna 2023 kutsumme aloitteeseen sitoutuneita kumppaneita Suomessa järjestettävään tilaisuuteen. Tämä tarjoaa hyvän mahdollisuuden edistää suomalaisten tutkijoiden ja muiden toimijoiden kansainvälistä verkostoitumista. Yhteistyö on tärkeää. Maaperätyöhön tarvitaan sekä viljelijöiden että muiden maankäyttäjien tietotaitoa ja tiedeyhteisöä. Lisäksi maaperän hyvinvointia on edistettävä yhteiskunnan tasolla. Maaperätyön aika on nyt.
Yeah, really, it does feel that the time for soil work is now. So we could now go to these short introductions. We will hear more about this collaboration and networks, and we could start by Nils from Natural Reserves Institute. Nils, you could tell us about EGP soil, please.
Yes, I will do. Shall I share the screen or will you do?
We can share the screen for you, Nils.
Okay, then
Yes.
go ahead. I still wait, but there's something coming. Okay, great. So I will represent and speak on behalf of the EGP Soil, the European Joint Program on transforming soil management and agriculture with an aim to ensure climate smart, sustainable management of agricultural soils. And here some additions has been made specifically for this presentation through inclusive integrative knowledge management. Next slide, please. I guess that's not new to all of us. There are some policies, but here are just those that are really relevant for the EGP soil. The EGP soil is based on agreements like the Paris Agreement, a type of document, a policy document. It's a Green Deal. The United Nations SDGs, they play also a role specifically to avoid land degradation and enhance the land quality. Here we just talk about agricultural soils. A European strategy on biodiversity. The EGP soil for sure looks on agricultural soils, but the management here, also the pesticides and fertilizers, they play an imminent role on the soil quality. So we look also on the use of pesticides and how these affect the soil quality, specifically the biology. Organic farming is an issue, as well as landscape features, for instance, hedges or even rows of trees having an impact on carbon sequestration. It's a major topic today, as well as reducing, for instance, water and wind erosion. Specifically with a focus on agriculture, it's a CAP, the Common Agricultural Policy. It's foreseeable that there will be a lot of changes so that farmers are forced to, that their activities and practices really change something into with an aim to, it's a result-based scheme. So carbon should be sequestered and not just that the subsidies not are just related to activities. And it's another part of the Green Deal, the fork strategy, farm to fork strategy. As mentioned already, fertilizers are relevant. So there is an aim to reduce with an aim to reduce losses, either due to emission of gases, trace gases, or even leaching by erosion or translocation in deeper soil zones. Next slide, please. Just a few words to the EGP Soil Consortium. There are 24 countries involved, 26 partners with in addition 19 so-called linked third parties. So it's a quite large consortium. It covers almost the entire region of Europe. Northern Europe is represented also with Finland, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry nominated the LUCA, the Luonnonvarakeskus, to execute research activities and to ensure the execution of a work package LUCA is responsible for. And as you can see, all of these countries highlighted in green, they participate. It's not just Europe, there's also involved the Turkey, and now we can also say Britain and Switzerland. Another tool that has been recently, started recently, enables also the participation of non-European partners. So funding organizations can participate. For instance, New Zealand joined, Canada considers to join. So the European funding remains in Europe, but in case another non-European country is interested, they can join research activities that are currently under preparation. Next slide, please. One button again, so that we can see. Great, thanks. So the major aim is, to develop knowledge, and this is a networking part as well as the part of transferring knowledge to support and boost the transformation as well as strengthening climate smart, sustainable management of agricultural soils. And that heavily, there is a definition from FAO, it's mentioned here, it heavily relates to services soils can provide. We talk also about ecosystem services, supporting services, provisioning services, regulating services, cultural services. For instance, retaining water in soil, or even sequestering carbon, being a sphere for animals and bacteria. And that any practice we may recommend to a farmer, or farmers already do not damage or even hamper soil properties. Next slide, please. Just another button again. 6 times, please. Okay, thanks. So, and based on that was a request from the European Commission. We look on 6 expected outcomes or even expected impacts, addressing, when you look on the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on soil management with an aim to address climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies. That goes hand in hand with the second expected impact to consider and boost the soil's capacity to sequester carbon, also in agricultural ecosystems. That requires for sure knowledge gathering, so research activities, but also cooperation, as Laura mentioned, networking to share knowledge between all of these activities and collect information from stakeholders, as well as disseminate knowledge to them. Could be an end user, could be a politician, could be a student, could be a researcher at a university or research organization. Another point, it's relevant, it's a larger component within the EGP soil, the harmonization and standardization of soil information as well as methods. For instance, when we come to soil organic carbon maps, you can still see the countries, and that should disappear. It depends partly on the use of the methods as well as the ways how to present. Yes, for sure, fostering and strengthening climate adaptation and mitigation strategies. And the third point, it's relevant, keep the fertilization in mind. The nutrients have an impact on either stabilization or even acceleration of the decomposition. Next slide, please. How do we do this within the EGP soil? There are 4 pillars. One is knowledge development, research activities based on knowledge gaps identified in a work package I will present in my last slide. Knowledge sharing, this is a networking part, so to scientists, to end users, but also to policy as well as vice versa. The point mentioned, knowledge harmonization and organization. This is a very important point, goes also hand in hand with some European regulations. I'm not an expert for that, but I guess all of us know the Inspire, not sure if it is in regulation or something like that, but it goes hand in hand with these regulations. And knowledge application. For this, we started quite early in Finland to set up the so-called Finnish EGP Soil Hub. It's an open network, multiple stakeholders can join, and it aims to disseminate knowledge as well as to collect knowledge. Last slide, please. This is the overall structure, let's say the governance structure of the EGP soil. In the middle, you see the work packages 3 to 7. These are the research work packages based on knowledge derived and prepared while preparing the proposal. There was an intense discussion and communication with the European Commission at that time, as well as screenings performed and executed by work package 2. And all of the knowledge gathered in work packages 2 to 7 will be used to come up with a more overall knowledge. We call it synthesis of knowledge and knowledge integration. And that aims to transfer and translate knowledge for politicians. An entire work package just looks on this interaction to politicians as well as back to the scientists being involved in the EGP soil, as well as the stakeholders linked to the EGP soil. And then for sure, communication at all. I added a link there. You can dig a little bit on the web page for the projects. Luke is involved in 6 out of 10 projects currently running, and more projects will come. This was everything from my side. Many thanks.
Thank you, Niels, for the very, very interesting presentation. And please remember, you can pose questions to the chat if you want to ask Niels something. We have time for discussion at the end of the session. So we move on with the program. Next, we have Elina Nikkola from the Ministry of the Agriculture and Forestry. Please, Elisa.
Good morning, all. I think someone is going to show the slides, or is it so? Sorry.
Yes, you can see the Elina. You can see the slides now.
Well, I don't. There's something wrong in my. Teams, I guess, because it's kicked me out just now. I just got back. Okay, there they are.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next slide, please. Yes, I'm Elina Ikkola from Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, and among other things, I'm involved in this new EU's research and innovation program, Horizon Europe. I'm in cluster 6, as I act as a delegate there, and one novelty in this new Horizon Europe program are the missions, and you can see them here. They are commitments to solve some of the greatest global challenges, like fighting cancer or adaptation to climate change or healthy oceans. And one of them is soil health and food, as you can see in the bottom of this picture. And they are meant to be very wide programs, if you say, or kind of an concepts of how we answer to these great challenges, and they all contain a portfolio of actions. There are research projects or policy measures or demonstration sites and so on, and they all act to achieve certain goals on how we can tackle these big global problems. Next one, please. I'm talking about about the soil health and food now. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, this is the soil mission goal. The EU wants that there will be 100 living labs and lighthouses to lead the transition towards healthy soils by 2030 for food, people, nature and climate. And I put an old goal there beneath that you can see what was the original one, and it's a very relevant goal as well, but Commission wants now that this goal of this mission would be more concrete and measurable, and I think this is kind of a very good example of how they really want to achieve some concrete achievements under these missions. What are these living labs and lighthouses then? They are a network of real-life sites for co-creation, testing and upscaling of solutions. And the idea is that this network of these living labs and lighthouses are spread across Europe in very even manner. And if we think what these living labs are, they are more like research and innovation approaches at how to conduct these soil-related problems, and lighthouses are more like an demonstration of solutions, training and communication. So they are kind of an go hand in hand in achieving these goals. Could I have a next slide, please? So what are these? If I talk now about only on soil, food, and healthy soil and food mission, but this is kind of an overall concept in all of these missions. As I said before, they contain a portfolio of different actions, and research and innovation actions are one of these. And in those local testing grounds and monitoring and training activities are the key. They aim to network different actors in different fields to work together to achieve the objectives of these missions. They try to answer to several EU-related strategies and programs, for example, Green Deal and EU's new recovery package, for example. And there is an how would I put it? All the missions kind of act together. Also, that there are linkages, interlinkages between different missions, as well as these missions are put into action through Horizon Europe research and innovation actions, as well as new Horizon Europe partnerships and so on. So it's kind of the aim is that this Horizon Europe program is kind of one program that with these different kind of actions that fulfill also the aims of this soil mission. Okay. I think yes, there's one more slide, I guess. This is just to inform you that we in Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, we shall open a new funding call for research and innovation and also development programs. And it's part of the Catch the Carbon program, which is a comprehensive climate program for land use sector, and our aim is to produce climate sustainable land use solutions, and there are two parts of this program. They are development projects and also research and innovations projects, and you can see the timetable of applications there, and also where you can find further information. This is just to inform you that that this is one way that our ministry is implementing also the goals and objectives of the soil mission. And I think I come to in the last slide. I think you have an if you put that in, Elisa, thank you very much. There is an hashtags as well as the EU Soil Mission website, where you can find more information about Soil Mission, and you can find more information about the Catch the Carbon from a ministry's website. And I think that was all from my part. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elina, for the very clear presentation. Very interesting. And please remember, if you want to ask Elina, just put questions in the chat. And actually, you mentioned the Catch the Carbon programs, and actually the next speaker, Elisa Vainio from Baltic Sea Action Group, she is going to tell about a project that is funded by the Catch the Carbon. So very concrete example of this Catch the Carbon program. But please, Elisa.
Yes, hello, thank you. So I am Elisa. I started in the Baltic Sea Action Group in August, and I am in charge of this FinSoil Action project that I'm going to present to you. And this is also focusing on carbon sequestration in agricultural soils. Next slide, please. First of all, Baltic Sea Action Group it's an independent and non-profit foundation here in Finland, and our aim is to restore the good condition of the Baltic Sea. And this is very highly connected to the climate change as well, and also the soil use and soil management. Next slide, please. One of the cornerstones of our work in Baltic Sea Action Group is this carbon action platform. We seek multiple benefits through this better agricultural practices, and we try to tackle climate and to achieve healthy soils, biodiversity, and with this also the good condition of the Baltic Sea. So these are all linked together. Next slide, please. And how do we do this? This is very much in cooperation, and we do concrete actions together with different actors, and the aim is to towards regenerative agriculture together with the farmers, scientists, companies, as well as decision makers. And in Carbon Action Platform, we have, for example, 100 different forms where we are doing where the research is done on these different practices. And then companies are also training or like companies together with the farmers are doing this regenerative agriculture practices. So this is a very, very concrete collaboration, and we are bringing these different actors together to work together in these different projects. Next slide, please. And as I said, we aim at multiple benefits. So with these good agricultural practices, it's possible to increase soil carbon, enhance soil health, at the same time improving food production, also to increase biodiversity and ecosystem resilience, and reducing emissions to water bodies. So I guess that you in this seminar, all of you already know so much about soil and healthy soils that you can see that these are all very much interconnected together, and by achieving one of these we can achieve many others. So they are all linked together. Next slide, please. And in this FinSoil Action, this project is created sort of on top of all the other projects. So in this carbon action platform, we already have many projects that are actually working on this, these agricultural practices and how to achieve the healthy soil and all these multiple benefits. But in this project, we try to strengthen the impact and visibility of this soil know-how that we already have here in Finland, and all the collaboration that we do, for example, in the Carbon Action platform. Then both nationally and internationally to create networks together with the soil experts, and this cooperation with many international networks together. Next slide, please. And more precisely, what we promote in this project are the solutions regarding, for example, monitoring, reporting, and verification work. For example, the work that the researchers are doing in these farms to monitor that how the soil carbon is actually increasing. And this is also very important for the companies and the decision makers, that we can actually monitor and verify the soil carbon situation in the soil. Then different carbon market mechanisms, user-friendly tools for this sequestration monitoring. For example, this field observatory website. Then this regenerative soil management practices and monitoring the soil situation. Next slide, please. And here some examples of the international networks. Many of these have already been presented or will be presented in this session, and we have done in BSAG and Carbon Action this international collaboration already for quite some time, and this collaboration within the Carbon Action platform, for example, it has raised international attention. So different networks are also interested in the work that we do here in Finland. And maybe the most important one is this 4 per mill initiative related to this project that I'm working in. In 4 per mill initiative, the goal is to increase the soil carbon stocks by 4 per mill per year. This EJP soil program was just introduced, and then this Svensk kolinlagring. It's very nice that we have this collaboration together with Sweden, and this is sort of like a almost similar work as we do in Carbon Action done in Sweden. FAO will be presented later, and then also this SCARF soil carbon farming network is something that is worthwhile, worth following. Yes, next slide, please. Some examples of the upcoming events that you may be interested in following and coming. Of course, there's this Maataloustieteen päivät, which is mainly in Finnish, so agricultural science days coming in January. We have also there an international session organized by BSAG. It's improving soil health and mitigating climate change. And this is bringing this collaboration between Finland and Sweden also in light. If, for example, if scientists are interested to other sessions, you can send a scientific abstracts by tomorrow. Then one very important upcoming event is in 2 years that we have this Northern Europe meeting of the 4 per mil together with BSAG in Helsinki in June after 2 years. And that's all from my side. You can, yes, thanks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Elisa, for the very clear presentation. And especially this 2023 4 per mille Northern Europe event is something we should all collaborate on. It's a possibility also to show how excellent work we do here in Finland in this global network. So after these presentations, we are bold enough to show you some videos again, and we hope the technology is working better this time. So we are going to have 3 videos to hear greetings from these different important networks. We are going to actually start with greetings from Brussels. Sirpa Pietikäinen, member of the parliament, is going to tell us how does it look like? Is soil a hot topic in Brussels at the moment? So the video, yeah.
Soil is living extremely complex ecosystem that is probably the most important for biodiversity. It holds 25% of the biodiversity globally. It is a carbon sink, twice as important as our climate, and it is degraded by wide range of actions by human beings globally and in Europe, and that comes with the high cost. This is the reason European Parliament has been calling the Commission to come up with the Soil Directive that would include the definitions, the objectives, indicators, targets for soil production, and the data space to be used, and the responsibilities of the different actors, as well as the adequate resources for the implementation, and the integration of the soil policies to other policies. So far, the Commission has not yet promised to come up with the Soil Directive, but it comes with the renewed soil strategy before this Christmas. But we'll continue the debate with your help, because we do need a legislative framework and support to protect our soils. That is the basis of our livelihoods.
Yes, that was really interesting message from Brussels. This soil directive really could be a powerful tool, and this soil strategy work I think is something we should all follow and try to influence this work. Then we move to the next greetings. We have mentioned today many times this global 4 per mille initiative, and now we have the pleasure to hear from the executive secretary Paul Lu about 4 per mille more specifically.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul Lu. I am the Executive Secretary of the 4 per mille initiative, Soil for Food Security and Climate, born at COP21 in Paris in 2015. Our international initiative promotes soil health and carbon sequestration in agricultural and forest soil with the triple aim of contributing to climate change mitigation, helping agriculture adaptation to the change already underway and become more resilient, and finally, improving global food security. With the support of nearly 650 partners around the world, including more than 40 countries, the idea of using agricultural and forest soil to fight climate change is gaining ground to the point of becoming obvious to all. Thanks to dynamic actors like the Baltic Sea Action Group, but also the Finnish Ministry of Agriculture and many other Finnish and Nordic partners and members of the 4 initiative, the improvement of soil health and carbon storage is progressing. Changes are taking place at the field level, particularly with the adoption of appropriate practices by farmers and foresters, the development of supportive public policies, and the scientific support needed to understand the evolution of soil carbon stocks and the mechanisms that lead to this outcome. Civil society is also finding answers to its desire to see agriculture and forestry around the world follow the path of agroecology. In this context, the contribution of science is vital because of our action must be science-based and result-oriented, but international cooperation is equally necessary to avoid unnecessary duplication of research and trials, and to learn from the successes and mistakes of others to move forward together. This is how we will have a chance to allow humanity to continue its journey on our planet Earth. I wish you a fruitful work during this Soil Science Day 2021 and give you an appointment in June 2023 in Helsinki for the 4 Northern Europe Regional Meeting co-organized by Baltic Sea Action Group and the Finnish Ministry of Agriculture. See you soon.
Well, that was a nice way from Paul to end his video by telling that we all have a possibility to meet him in Helsinki in 2023. I have to say personally that the cooperation with 4 initiative has been really, it really gives us a lot, and it has been really fruitful cooperation with 4 work. They are doing excellent work. And now we are going to have our final video. One very important collaboration is FAO, and Ronald Vargas in FAO, he's the secretary of the Global Soil Partnership, and they do have a lot of activities. We actually did have the pleasure in June, we had a Soil at Risk symposium, and there Ronald gave a longer presentation. And at this Soil at Risk webpage, it's easy to find Soil at Risk, you can find Ronald Vargas's longer presentation about why soil is at risk. So if you're interested, I recommend you to go to the Soil at Risk webpage. But now we go on with Ronald's video, please.
Good day and welcome to all participants of the Finnish Soil Science Days. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm Ronald Vargas from the Global Soil Partnership at FAO. These Science Days are very important because soils are the subject of them. And currently, soils are in the agenda. Why? Because we demonstrated not only scientifically, but with facts that healthy soils especially, are important for all the challenges that we are currently facing. Therefore, we congratulate the organizers for this event because it is the time in order to catalyze all these efforts into actions. At the Global Soil Partnership, we work on promoting sustainable soil management. Given that we are in FAO, we deal with normative tools so that governments can try to adopt all these tools, but also we go to the field because at the end of the day, what we want to do is to transform all these tools, all this information into action, supporting those users that are dealing with soils in a daily basis. It is time to really stop soil degradation, and unlock the potential of not only soil organic carbon, but of soil health. With data, we can do a lot of good decisions. And for instance, we have a global soil laboratory network that is trying to harmonize standard operating procedures, to harmonize processes, to train the laboratories around the world so that we have good data. Then we produce maps following country-driven processes. For instance, we just launched the soil organic carbon sequestration potential map. And in there, with data coming from countries, we can see that the potential to sequester carbon yearly is around 2 gigatons of CO2 equivalent. With this, we can mitigate around 34% of the global emissions coming from agriculture in a yearly basis. Therefore, the potential is there, but we also know what are the practices that can help us to achieve and unlock this potential of soil organic carbon and boost the provision of ecosystem services. What is needed? We urgently need to scale up investment towards sustainable soil management. This investment should come from governments, but also can come from private sector. All these investments will really make a difference. And we believe it is time to move from all these small and pilot ideas into real and concrete actions on the ground. We at the Global Soil Partnership are ready to work with all of you. Science is needed, all in-kind support is needed, but also, as I said, investment is very much needed. So we hope we can join forces to make a difference and get healthy soils for all. I wish you a very successful meeting, and I really hope that your efforts will be catalyzed into something tangible, because that is what we need. Thank you very much.
Yes, so I really, this work done by FAO is really something to follow. There's a lot of activities. And I'm sorry, there in the chat, there is some comments that the sound was not always perfect on the videos. I'm sorry for this. It's sometimes quite difficult with the different technologies. We were brave enough to have so many videos. So, but hopefully you heard most of it. But thank you so much. Now we have heard many different presentations and about the different collaboration. And now I'm looking at the chat to see questions. There are some questions posed in the chat. Let's see, we start from the first ones. It's about the Catch the Carbon call, and I think this is for Elina for sure. Most of the topic mostly related to soil.
Yes, thank you.
You see the question. I can read it, Elina. So about the Catch the Carbon call of the ministry, are the topics mostly related to soil?
Okay, do you hear me now?
Muted. Aha.
Do you hear me now? Yes, you can? Okay, good. Because there's something wrong with the Teams. Okay. About the Catch the Carbon, Hiilestä program, yes. Its aim is to reduce emissions in land use sector and to strengthen the carbon sinks and the reservoirs. So it's kind of an soil-related, yes. But there are also a lot of actions in the land use sector that we need to achieve these goals. So I think it's not all about soil, but soil related, let's say so. And there is one aspect of nudging that what we must do to kind of to get more how people are can do more about to achieve these goals. So I would say that yes, soil related, but not all about soil. So but I think that within a week we can get this more information in our website, so you can look into the. Thanks.
Thank you, Elina. This nudging for sure is a very important topic, how we get different actors to work for the soil, for example. That's really important topic. Can I ask one specific question about the call also now, as this Catch the Carbon was for this government sort of program, so are the projects only till the end of this government program, so a few years, or can they go longer? Period?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, yes, I think we try to find now a little bit shorter projects, but of course, because of this budgetary things, it's a kind of an kolmen vuoden siirtomerra. It can be used after these 2 years also, but you'll find more in. Okay. It's kind of flexible, but we try to get as much done during this period than we can. Yes.
Yes, great, thank you. So there are questions now. Question to Elisa. So how the soil action sites are monitored in practice? What is measured and how often?
So these are the carbon action sites, and all these 100 farms that are the pilot farms. At least first samples are taken in the beginning, and then after 5 years, and then in some of the study sites there are a lot more detailed field experiments and studies. So there are like some 20-30 farms where more carbon fluxes and sequestration is studied. But then we have the intensive study sites, for example, Kvidja, Viikki, and those were more soil analysis and microbial analysis, atmospheric measurements, and these are done. But unfortunately, I don't have any more specific details on what is actually analyzed on those samples besides carbon.
Yes, thank you. I actually put in the chat, I put a link to this sort of update of carbon action. It's quite recent update, and there you can see also the publications and the measurements already done. For example, in the Genodo program, some of the results are sort of all the results are out, what we have already. Thomas Mattila from Syke is updating. And then we have field observatory, where we can see, for example, from the Kvidja intensive study sites, you can see in real time what's really happening on the field. And now I think we have Haltia there also, and some of the carbon action farms. But please, if you have time to go through this update. Okay, we go further. We have question from Markku, which is maybe for Sirpa, but I think Sirpa is not online now. So how does this new EU Soil Directive relate to the earlier attempts about 20 years ago? But maybe Elina, I don't know, you are a grand old lady with this issue, so maybe you have the best knowledge out of all of us.
Well, not much knowledge about this new one, but I'm a veteran of that old one. I was involved in the negotiations when the first Soil Directive was tried to yes. Well, I think, well, I hope that the time is better for this directive, or at least the strategy now. The first attempt, I think it was kind of too ambitious for some parts, especially for contaminated sites, because there is a lot. Member states are kind of at different levels of what they are doing for soils, and there is some kind of some countries are more they have more progress the things that they do, and some are not. So it's kind of it was really difficult to find the balance in this last directive. So I hope that. I think that soil is in fashion now, and it's a good thing that there's really much more about soil-related initiatives now than there were 10 or 15 years ago. So it's kind of I think that also at EU level, at least we get that soil strategy. We have this soil mission. We have Fort Pamil. We have FADAS, everything. So it's kind of this is the moment.
Yeah.
So let's hope that also this EU soil strategy at least flies. Thanks.
Thank you, Elina. I think it was a perfect way to conclude. Soil is in fashion. I did my PhD in year 99 on soil. It was not in fashion then. What are you studying? Soil, is that important? And now it really feels that soil is in fashion and is really the momentum for this work and for collaboration also internationally. I hope you got some idea about all the collaboration happening at the moment, and maybe it's now easier to collaborate, and please ask more information and contact Nils or Elina or Baltic Sea Action Group or these different actors. And then in 2023, of course, we are all working together to have really great 4 per mille meeting here in Helsinki. But I think, Taina, we are time to give the floor back, Taina, to you. And I think there is time for some other program in Soil Science Days.